A new segment that I think we're going to have to start just specifically surrounding heroes is the D-Bag of the Week. And the first ever D-Bag of the Week is going to have to go to Tim Kring.
The creator.
The creator, the producer, the writer, everything behind the show. Because with your show failing and it getting low ratings and the quality going down and everybody trying to figure out what's wrong with the show, what does he do? He blames the fans. That's a smart move.
He did a Q&A section at a screenwriting conference, and he said that his show is very you watch it on the internet, you can watch it with the DVR, you can do all this stuff, and that the show is meant for people to watch it something like that, and that people that don't know how to do that are dipshits.
First of all, because I might want to watch the show online or on my TiVo, that doesn't mean I'm not watching it every week. I'm still watching it in order. So, it's your fault if the show doesn't make sense. I also heard him say that he says maybe it should have never been serialized.
Yeah.
They should have been standalone episodes, and that he got caught up after 24 and Lost were big hits.
Well, and the other thing that really made me mad was Caitlin, the Irish girl from season 2 that Peter was in love with, and he kind of left her in the future.
Right.
He said, we're never going back to that. We've kind of leapfrogged that, so they're never even going to bring it up, mention it, talk about it. Right. Peter doesn't care about love anymore, apparently. He fell in love with this girl. And then we've only been a few weeks in Heroes World away from there.
Yeah.
And so apparently he's
moved on.
Yeah.
We've seen Peter come back from the future a couple times, never brought her up, doesn't seem affected by it. Nope. It just seems ridiculous. And
that's the best way to break up with a girl, though. Leave her in the future. And then you're like, whoo, she's gone.
Well, in a future that has been ravaged by a terrible virus.
Well, you do that if you're an a-hole or a D-bag. But I would just leave her in the future just to do it,
The thing is, it's not even just the show is getting ruined. Every week the characters get a little more ruined. Last night, Nathan was just the biggest ass to Peter.
Yeah.
And then they just all seem so stupid. An eclipse happens, and they're like, what's going on? What's happening? So it's becoming a chore.
Ooh, the sun. Ooh, I broke my arm.
And yeah, I'm fully on the list with you that if they want to improve the show, they need to get rid of Tim Kring.
Yeah. They should bring Brian Fuller, who is in charge of Pushing Daisies.
I hear he might come back, and that's the only thing that's
you bring him back. I think that would help. This is my, since Pushing Daisies was canceled, that's the logical next step.
So let's just skip ahead and go ahead and talk about the Entertainer's of the Year.
And otherwise known as, haha, we were right.
Right.
So I did actually go by the new Entertainment Weekly, which was the Entertainers of the Year. And we had actually been talking about this for a few weeks, actually.
We knew it was going to come down to two choices. It was either going to be Robert Downey Jr. or Tina Fey.
Yes.
I thought, as much as I love Robert Downey Jr., and I really wanted him to be the Entertainer of the Year, I just thought Entertainment Weekly would go the other way and pick Tina Fey.
Well, you logically thought, she's on TV more.
I thought the whole Sarah Palin thing would push her over top of him,
and
but
me, I was steadfast in my Robert Downey Jr.
I am
man crush. Sort of.
I love Robert Downey Jr. I have loved Robert Downey Jr. since Weird Science, so I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's great, and I love Iron Man. I'm actually conflicted right now of what's going to be my best movie of the year because everybody's saying Dark Knight, and I love Dark Knight, but there's something about Iron Man.
So I was really happy because they kind of got it right with what I wanted. So I thought, it would be Robert Downey Jr., Tina Fey, and Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight as my favorite things of the year. And that's kind of what they did.
Yeah.
So I'm ecstatic that happened. So.
My only real complaint with their list, there were a couple people on that list who were just way too high. But the Cast of the Hills, oh God, I hate that show. But Neil Patrick Harris, MPH, number 25. Come on. How I Met Your Mother, Harold and Kumar, Dr. Horrible. There's no way he should have been number 25.
Yeah, Wall-E beat him.
Yes,
Twilight
so
beat him.
Much higher
Sex
on
and
the
the City. James Franco.
James Franco?
Yeah, so.
Right, so. There were a few problems, but for the most part, Robert Downey Jr., I think we can both agree he's definitely Entertainer of the Year.
And you should get the magazine because it's a great interview with him. It's really good.
Right.
You can read it on their website, too.
Sure.
You don't want to spend
Absolutely.
$4 on a magazine.
So, before we end the show with our
Okay.
customary quiz,
Yes.
I just have a quick thing I have to say about The Amazing
Is
Race.
this like a campaign comment?
This is my comment.
Okay.
My comment on
Okay, the floor is yours. I will just
The Amazing Race.
sit here and listen.
I love the show. I think it'd be awesome to be on the show. I'm in love with Phil. But here's my biggest pet peeve with the show this season, is that they seem to have gotten the stupidest pairs of teams together. I don't know, because here's the problem. Read the clue. Read the clue. I mean, it has been about 4 or 5 times this season that people have just not read the clue all the way through. They've taken a cab when they're supposed to walk. They left something at the task when they had to bring it with them to the pit stop. And I'm just like, if you're lucky enough to be on The Amazing Race, isn't rule number 1, read the clue? And it's just been driving me crazy week after week.
Tell us how you really feel.
That and they have these frat boys on the show called Andrew and Dan, and I have never seen a girlier pair of whiners than these two guys.
Kind of reminds me of Seth Rogen just a little bit.
My God, these guys are such whiners every episode. Like last week, they had to march with a Russian military unit. And they had to, do it exactly the way that the guys in the unit did it, which seemed like a pretty easy task for an Amazing Race episode compared to eat this, 7 pounds of sheep brains. They have to...
Sounds good.
Yeah, they have to, march in time with a military unit. And this guy... First, he couldn't get the clothes on right, and then he couldn't get the marching down. I was like, how does he get out of bed and dress himself in the morning? Like, I couldn't understand how they ended up on the show.
Oh, he's a frat boy, so
but
no offense to frat.
That's just
men
been
anyway.
my pet peeve with the show this season is just people not reading the clues. So if you're out there and you're watching us and you're lucky enough to get on The Amazing Race, read the damn clue.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
Okay. Are you okay?
I'm
You
fine.
want to take a breather?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
To trick you, I saw this question on Intermovie Database yesterday, and so you have like 30 seconds to answer.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Which modern actress has starred with all of the people to play Batman in a live-action movie?
So we're talking Michael Keaton,
Yes.
George Clooney,
Yes.
Val Kilmer.
Yes. And Christian Bale.
Oh, and Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
And Christian Bale. And
One actress has starred with all 4 of those men. 30 seconds. Oh, we probably have to pay for that. Never mind. Tell us your thought process. What are you thinking?
I'm running through movies in my head. Like,
It's sort of a
what have
trick
they
question. If you
done?
think about it, you could figure it out. I'll just tell you that. Would you like a clue?
Yeah, because I have a couple possibilities.
Okay, Val Kilmer. That's your clue. Think that.
Think Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer is Batman. What's your clue?
Oh. Is it Nicole Kidman?
It is Nicole Kidman. Congratulations. Woo! You probably could have got it even without the clue. But
She was on the list. I
Yeah.
tell you, I had Julia Roberts and Elizabeth Shue and Nicole Kidman. And
I don't
was
think
just
Julia
trying
Roberts
to-
and Christian Bale have been in the movie.
That
together.
was what was throwing me, and I was just trying to pick. But I guess that's going to do it for this
Yeah.
episode of Viewpoints On. I suppose we'll be back with a big year-end.
No, well, a few more maybe.
Oh,
You
alright.
could talk about Coldplay next week. Someone's seeing Coldplay tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to see Coldplay tonight. I cannot
I'm going to see Coldplay
wait.
tonight. I'm going to see Coldplay tonight.